Hey there! Alright. Have you ever wondered where the tradition of witchy altars came from and how they can be used for more than just spells? Join me live right now to unlock the secrets of sacred spaces and unleash the magic within your home. So, welcome, everyone. I hope you enjoy what we're going to talk about tonight. Tonight is all about altars and sacred spaces and doing the things. So, I'm Mandy. This is Twilight Tuesday, or Tuesday Twilight Talks at the Black Cat Witchcraft and Apothecary, or at the Black Cat's Practical Magic Academy. And I'm Mandy, founder of Black Cat. So, I have been a witch since I was 17. Didn't really practice witchcraft until the last 4 or 5 years. And then I dove wholeheartedly, full feet, into the deep end and started studying holistic witchery. Part of my business is about teaching practical, everyday magic. Not just the big woo-woo. The big woo-woo is great, and it has its place, but it's the little everyday things that we can do that makes everyday magical. So, most of us know that altars are a dedicated space for rituals and offerings. They have existed for a millennia. If you look back to the pyramids, yes, they are a tomb, but there are also altars inside the pyramids that they have found where people left offerings, not necessarily to a god or goddess, but to the pharaoh that they treated as a god or goddess. You've got the Greeks with their temples, and their temples are beautiful and gorgeous. And they had temples to so many gods. And the Romans, prior to becoming Christianized, had lots and lots of gods and goddesses, and they had temples to them as well. So, what did they do before we had temples? A lot of just plain stone altars. A lot of the pagans, or what we consider pagans, the British, Euro Vikings with their gods and pantheons, and the Celts with their gods and their pantheons, and they used natural settings outside, maybe a stone on the ground, and under the trees. The Celts believed that there were 9 sacred trees, and being in a grove of oak trees in particular was really important to the Druids. But there were 8 other types of tree that they honored. So they used a lot of those types of woods in their altars. So, what do you need to create an altar in your home? Could be as simple as a shelf somewhere in your house, or it could be, oh, you can't see that one because of the back of my chair. It could be a tray sitting on top of a table that you can easily move out of your main living area if there are other people that you maybe necessarily don't want touching it, or people coming to visit. Sometimes family doesn't exactly understand, and that's cool. So sometimes we just pick things up and move them away, and then when they're gone, we put them back. And that's okay. So, the biggest thing of an altar is that it's a place for you to have focus. Whether that's, I personally, let's see if I can move out of the way and see if you can see. Okay, there's a shelf back there where there's a bunch of stuff. There's a box over here that's got a bunch of stuff in it. And that's kind of my working altar. There's a table there. And then behind me, there's actually an altar that I have currently dedicated to the triple moon goddess. So, that's kind of my altar space. Do you need one that big? Not necessarily. It only needs to be as big as you want it to be. You do not have to have an altar that looks like it came off of Pinterest. And it would be cool if you do, but if you don't, that's cool too. So, it's just a space for you to focus on what you're doing. So, here's the magic piece of it. You start by cleansing the space. So let's talk about cleansing. Cleansing can be one of those topics that gets a little heated. There are people that use white sage. I do have some. This is what a white sage bundle looks like. I don't necessarily care for high Juanchi. I'm not sure how to say that. So that's what I don't care for the smell of white sage. I use lavender to cleanse with. You can use lots and lots of different herbs to cleanse with. I prefer lavender. I do have some white sage. White sage is controversial because there are lots of people that feel that it is, what's the term I'm thinking of? Cultural appropriation. There we go. From the Native Americans. So there are lots of people that feel that it is not appropriate. There are lots of people that feel like it was put here on Earth and we're honoring Mother Earth, so we should use it. I'm not going to tell you one way or the other which way is right, which way is wrong. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to give you the information and you can make a choice for yourself. So, white sage is one. Lavender's another one that you can burn. If you don't like burning oils or burning herbs, you can do an essential oil burner, which that's what that is right there. And that is a little on the hot side right now. You can use that for aromatherapy, or you can use it for the burning of essential oils. And you can use essential oils to cleanse with too. I like citrus scents for cleansing off of an essential oil burner. The citrus always to me is very, very uplifting. So you can use sage, you can play joyful music and dance around your house. You can use sound. That's why a lot of witches have bells. I have a couple of different ones. This one's my silver one. I've got a crystal one. You can use bells to cleanse. And if you're going to use sound, make sure it gets like into the corners. Same thing with the smoke from sage or herbs or essential oils. You can use crystals to cleanse. This is a selenite wand. You can pick these up at your local rock shop, most likely. And crystals can be used for cleansing in the space. You can use your personal energy and wave your arms and cleanse the space. You can cleanse your space however you want to. Once you've cleansed it, you want to bless it. You can bless it with music. You can bless it by saying a little blessing spell or prayer or whatever you want to call it. Some people are uncomfortable with the word spell, so just saying it's a blessing that you're doing. Once you've done that, you get to decide what goes on your altar. You can unleash your witchy interior decorator and let her go to town and have fun. And, whether that's crystals, herbs, essential oils, anything that's meaningful to you during Samhain. I usually have pictures of my ancestors, my grandfather, his parents, the ones that have passed, my grandmother's side, my great-grandmother, great-grandfather. I usually so that's an ancestor altar at that point in time. I usually, this time of year, I like to have fresh flowers on my altar. It can be as simple as a photograph of loved ones and flowers there. That could be an altar. It's only as intricate as you want to make it. So there's really no one size fits all approach. It's however intricate or small that you want to make it. One of the ways that I like to do, if I'm going to do a small thing, like an abundance altar. So this is an abundance altar that sits on my regular altar. The feather got stuck in there, and I'll talk about the feather here in a minute, but it's got rice in there representing the earth and salt, and it's got some crystals in there, various crystals for sunstone and tiger's eye and green aventurine, various crystals for various pieces and parts. It's got a silver dollar, well, I guess it would be a silver pound, because it's from Britain. It's got an Irish penny in there. It's got a Sacagawea dollar in there. It's got a bay leaf that I have drawn a sigil onto. It's got a $2 bill that I've had since I was very, very small that came from my great-grandfather. And I put it into a stemless wine glass that was green and gold. When I was doing this, I really needed something green to represent money, gold, wealth, those types of things. So I could go buy a bowl at the Dollar Tree or Dollar General if I really need to, but I'm sure I gotta have something around here that I can use. And I started going through the cabinets and looking around, and a friend of mine had given me just this one glass one year for Christmas, and I went, that would be perfect. Perfect little abundance altar. So the feather is in here because last fall I went walking. I was walking a lot. And every time I went out walking, I kept finding feathers. And I was going, okay, the feathers have got to be a sign. They've got to be something, some message from someone, somewhere. And so I started looking it up as far as the feathers go and the colors. And so, yes, feathers can be signs from, if they're white, it's typically a message that your angels or your guides or whatever you want to call them are near and they're there. Black symbolizes protection. Black and white, where it's definitely black and white. I've got several others that I've collected from my walks that are black and white, and definitely black and white. Those ones represent change, and that change is coming. So I just thought it was really, really funny that I kept finding these feathers. And I made a comment to another friend of mine, also a witch, that this kept happening, and she just started laughing at me, and she's like, okay. And she thought I was losing my mind. And we were out at an event at a park in El Paso. And we're down there, and the next thing I know, I've got a handful of feathers. And I walked back over to where we were seating, and I went, "I told you so." And she went, "Oh my God." There was, just, they kept ending up in my path. So, obviously, my guides had a message that change was coming. Because, again, most of them were gray, not really gray, but black and white, and very definitively, let me see if I can find that real quick. Definitively black and white. Let me see if I can find one that's very, very, very black and white. Those ones are red and black. Found those ones too. That one. There you go. So you can see that it is black and white. And so that's why I stuck it in there, to remind me that change is inevitable. And I stuck it into my abundance altar to represent change. So, I know here in the last, probably most of my lifetime, and apparently I've got a visitor again. Hello, Mr. Hobbs. Yes, I've got candles burning. You probably don't want to stick your tail in them. A lot of the times you'll see flowers on the side of the road, typically with a cross because somebody has died there. You'll see that a lot. That is technically an altar too. Not so much in the aspect of, hi, we're praying to this person, but more as a memorial altar of offerings of wishes, well wishes for that person that has passed away. So if you've ever been out and actually gotten to an intersection in two roads and seen kind of an altar thing set up on the side of the road, that's typically an altar to Hecate. So, who was Hecate? Hecate was the goddess of magic, goddess of crossroads, the underworld. So, a lot of times people are praying to Hecate. They will take an offering. Could be bread, could be flowers, could be incense. And they will take it out and they will put it out into a intersection on the side of the road somewhere. So, that's a way to honor the goddess. That's also what they consider, or what most people consider, a liminal space. So a space in between where two places meet, where two paths converge, is a liminal space. So weird things can happen in liminal spaces. So that's the other piece of it, with meeting the earth and meeting the universe, is a crossroads. So a lot of the times, if you see an altar to Hecate at a crossroads, it will be somebody seeking guidance. And Hecate also reigns over the unseen, the unknown. And typically, if you wanted to do that now, I would do it with flowers, because that's not going to be as maybe looked down upon by the rest of the planet or the rest of the society that you live in. One of the things that you can use your altar for is self-care. So typically, and I've already put it away for the day, typically one of the things that I do in the morning is I will do a tarot card, well, not a tarot card, but an oracle card pull, and I will use my favorite oracle cards, or my favorite oracle deck, which is the and it goes flying. The Everyday Witch Oracle. I will use this one, and I will do just a 1-card pull. And I'm not really asking for anything, just kind of want to see what the universe has to say to me. And I will sit here at my altar, or my working space altar, and I will journal about it. What that card means to me, what it represents in my life, what's kind of going on in my day-to-day. And that's kind of a little quick, 15-minute, kind of put my life together in the morning, journal, and about what the universe has to tell me that day. Yesterday, it was really, really funny. Yesterday was April 8th. April 8th was a new moon. It was the Aries new moon, and it was also a solar eclipse. The card I drew yesterday was fire magic. So, Aries element is fire. So I thought it was really funny that on an Aries new moon day, the card that I would draw would be fire magic. Oh, wait. And I am an Aries. So, yeah, between the last 24 hours, I had to do a little bit of fire magic. So, one of the things about, you can use your altar to journal. You could use your altar, you can set up a little tiny altar in your bathroom and use it for self-care. I have one in the corner of my tub that is about self-care. And if I go in to take a ritual bath, I have a little tiny altar there with candles, and usually end up with bath salts and herbs or essential oils in my bath. And that's part of, I'll light the candles, and I have a little tiny goddess that sits in there that's a crystal. So she sits in there next to my bathtub, and we hang out and I meditate. But that's one way that you can set up a little tiny altar in your bathroom and use it for self-care. So all of that for self-care is really about setting a place that is tranquil and lets you just kind of relax and take care of yourself. The regular altars is more about focus and working and performing actual magic. But there are other things that you can do, and just one of the things I typically do in the morning when I'm journaling is, and I probably need to replace my candles now, is I will light my candles, and then I will, as I'm lighting my candles, I will do gratitude, and I will say, thank you for waking up this morning, or, I'm grateful for having clothes on my back and food in my body, whatever it is. So just, lighting a candle and saying that you're thankful for something. A couple of things, 2-3 things. Really easy way to add a little bit of gratitude to your day. And the smoke from the candle will take it off to the universe so that the universe knows that you're thankful for everything that you do have. So I have created a free guide. It is called Empowered Everyday Magic. It's got a bunch of tips on creating sacred spaces, self-care, tools for using practical tools, like deciding a wine glass makes a great altar. Using practical tools for your everyday magic. And I would love it if you would check out my bio and go download it. It's free. Just put your email address and your name in and you're good to go. You'll receive a monthly newsletter from me, and you might see emails a couple times a week for, hey, I'm going live, this is what we're talking about. Hey, I put a new blog post up, and this is what it's talking about. I try not to be super, super spammy. I know in this day and age it's really difficult to do any sort of marketing email wise just because people are so spammy. And I definitely don't do 5 days a week email. It drives me nuts to get it, so I don't want to do it. So I would love it if you would go download my Empowered Everyday Magic Practical Tools for the Modern Witch, if you are so inclined to do so. And I would love for you to, once this gets posted, if you want to share pictures about your altars or the things that you use for practical magic tools or any types of altar related stuff, I'd love it if you posted pictures. That would be really cool. And that's where I'm at. So and wow, I really need to plan my topics out a little better. I thought I had way too much information. And here I am at under 30 minutes, and I've gone through the whole thing. So, I'm really starting to enjoy getting to talk about magic and go live. And if you've got questions and weren't able to join and you see the replays, please ask questions. I would love to engage in a conversation with you. And so go check out Empowered Everyday Magic and stay spellbinding, my friends, and have a great night. Bye.